Oh my goodness, hot news, hot news, hot news, breaking news. Oh my god, I am shook. Fan flap, fan flap, fan flap. Oh my goodness. Right, where do I start? Where do I begin? I am on the floor. I am shook. I am on the floor. I am flapping. Oh my goodness. Right, so within the last 40 minutes, there has been an announcement. So scrap everything that I said in my previous video, because we have a big, major, huge, fat, gigantic, massive royal announcement regarding the Sussexes. Let me just turn to an official statement. So, if you go to the official Sussex Royal Instagram account, I'm just going to copy the link so that you can go and see it right here, right now. Oh, by the way, let me just open the chat room. I do hope the notifications are going out because I think as many of you need to hear this as is humanly possible. So here is the link that I am sharing. As always, if you're watching on Catch Up, I will include this in the description. But breaking news. After much talk about Harry and Meghan possibly stepping back from royal life, possibly renouncing titles, possibly moving to a different country, but that country possibly being Canada, we now have a definitive answer. Let's just move the camera down. We now have a more definitive answer because they have announced that, and I quote, after many months of reflection and internal discussions, we have chosen to make a transition this year in starting to carve out a progressive new role within this institution. We intend to step back as senior, and they quoted senior, members of the royal family and work to become financially independent whilst continuing to fully support Her Majesty the Queen. It is with your encouragement, particularly over the last few years, that we feel prepared to make this adjustment. We now plan to balance our time between the United Kingdom and North America. Now, by North America, I think they're probably meaning Canada, but let's just park that for a moment. So, plan to balance our time between the United Kingdom and North America, continuing to honour our duty to the Queen, the Commonwealth, and our patronages. This geographic balance will enable us to raise our son with an appreciation for the royal tradition into which he was born, whilst also providing our family with the space to focus on the next chapter, including the launch of our new charitable entity. We look forward to sharing the full details of this exciting next step in due course as we continue to collaborate with Her Majesty the Queen, the Prince of Wales, the Duke of Cambridge, and all relevant parties. Until then, please accept our deepest thanks for your continued support. Signed, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Oh my goodness, that is a complete bombshell. Let's just go to the comment section because I have more information as well. One of the things that I did say in my earlier video was about, I kind of hinted at the financial side of things because obviously at the moment their offices are funded by jointly by the Queen and the Prince of Wales. Eventually, when Charles is monarch, that will change to just being, well, it was going to be just funded, obviously, by the monarch. But now that they have announced that they intend to be more financially independent of the royal family, it basically means that they have come up with the fact that they know that they are going to get criticism from the media and different people if they try to have their cake and eat it, if you like, if they try to have their privacy while still having the publicly funded, maintained homes and all the things that you get for being a fully working member of the royal family. So what they've obviously done is they've gone, well, actually, if you take that away, if we become financially independent, basically we get our privacy. We still get to support the Queen and still get to launch our royal foundation, but in a way, they've bought their privacy, which is quite a radical step for a member of the royal family. But I think that Meghan has been independently financially viable as an adult for many years. She has lived in North America. By North America, I think they mean Canada. For many years, independently, all by herself. So for her, this is definitely not a scary move. It's not a big thing. It's just, you take care of yourself. I think for Harry, it's a bigger deal. He hasn't done that. He hasn't lived that life. But I think obviously with the encouragement of Meghan will undoubtedly have reassured him that we can do this, we can do this, we can be independently viable, we can still do our charitable organisation, we can still support the Queen, and we can still raise our child in a good and positive way. I mean, obviously Archie still being a baby. We don't know the implications of splitting your time between the UK and North America, how that will affect schooling. I don't quite know how they plan to obviously split their year up. I would imagine that announcements will come. Now, one thing that I did want to show you is I also wanted to link to a tweet that round about 20 minutes ago Omid Scobie posted. So he actually posted a picture which I think must have been released to certain media outlets. I will try obviously and post a link to this tweet. Oh, here we go, I've got it. So yeah, I will post a link to this tweet that I'm going to read. It's like a photo tweet. And basically, this is so he's posted in 2020. Harry and Meghan will be changing how they work with the media to ensure diverse and open access to their work. Over the months ahead, through a phased approach, they plan to, and this is the post. So they plan to engage with grassroots media organisations and young up and coming journalists. Now that's one thing I completely agree with. I've been saying for ages that I think the royal family should, employ people perhaps with links to the Prince of Wales's Prince's Trust Foundation to help disadvantaged people into employment. And one of the things I thought of was they could employ their own journalists, they could employ their own photographers, videographers. So I'm really liking this ethic of engaging with grassroots media organisations and young up and coming journalists. That is something that I have been saying that I wished would happen for a very long time. So I am very happy with that. The next point is invite specialist media to specific events engagements to give greater access to their cause-driven activities, widening the spectrum of news coverage. Again, I've said for a very long time that the way that people are getting their information is not through the mainstream media as much as it was. Traditional forms of print media are not the same. People are going to blogs, people are going to YouTube channels, people are going all over for their news. So I'm really happy that they have spotted that, and hopefully will be providing access and more coverage to better organisations. The next point: provide access to credible media outlets focused on objective news reporting to cover key moments and events. Hey, I like to try and be as objective as possible. I think I may tick that box, but we'll see. But yeah, no, I completely agree. I think being focused and being objective is one of the things that I have prided myself on, and I am glad that that is going to be recognised with the sorts of media outlets that the Duke and Duchess are going to be focusing on. The next point, continue to share information directly to the wider public via their official communications channels. Again, that's really, really good. I'm really liking the fact that that they have their Instagram account, so that's good. And they may develop other channels as well. And the final point is to no longer participate in the royal rota system. So if you don't know what the royal rota system is, it harks back to a time almost kind of like pre-blog, pre-vlog, pre-people publishing their own content, where you would only get access to the royals if you were part of this royal rota. So what happens usually? Let's just take the Canada House engagement that the Duke and Duchess attended yesterday. So typically there will be like a pool of media reporters from traditional print and traditional news channels, and they will usually send maybe one reporter, one videographer who will film clips and take pictures to share between all of the others. And only basically if you are a member of that club can you use that footage, that photography. So to no longer give access to those traditional media outlets is a big, big, big step. And obviously that's something that you can choose who you invite to your engagements if you are financially independent. So that is another, I think, a really positive step. Now I'm going to read some comments. So Becky Ray says, I'm shocked. I really don't think they would do this. Well, if you watched my video earlier, I didn't think they would do it. But they have. They have done it. But you don't blame them. They have been through hell. They need to take care of themselves and be happy. Life is too short to be miserable. Annie says, I love their decision. Very mature of them. And Janice says, both of them are very rich. Diana left Harry a lot of money. Yes, he does have his independent wealth to be able to do that. And also, I would like to point out that if he kind of goes down, I suppose, a similar route, I mean, not quite the same, but if you take, for example, Princess Anne's son and daughter, they can earn their own money. And I think, they will be free if this goes ahead, as they say they're going to do it. They will be free to earn their own money through sponsorships or whatever. Amanda says this is a good decision. Meghan didn't sign up to be bullied daily. And Karen says they chose their freedom. Yes, now they won't be limited to how much they can earn. Exactly. Joanne says I only became a royal watcher because of Meghan. And Sonia says, so they won't be at any state functions. Well, see, the terms stepping back from being a senior royal, we don't know exactly what that means, because if they plan to fully still support the Queen, we don't know at which engagements, which royal family events they might turn up at. To be honest, this has not been done in this way before. So we are very much in uncharted waters. We don't know exactly what this means, and I am sure that all will become apparent as time goes on. I think it would be kind of wrong of us right now to fully try to realise and understand and process exactly what this means. I would be quite surprised if Harry and Meghan and the rest of the royal family actually know at this point exactly what they intend. I think this is something that will develop over time, and we will become aware of all the changes as they are made. I mean, obviously, I think they will have a general idea. There will be a general thrust, but exactly how this is going to manifest itself, how it's going to work out, I very much doubt they know quite at the moment. But they have taken this step very early on at the start of the royal year. Because obviously September is like the beginning of a new royal year. They've taken that step, and obviously this will now influence how their Sussex Royal Foundation is going to go forwards. I'm very interested to see how they're going to split their time. Will it be equally? How is that going to affect Archie when it comes up to school time? You know, I'm very, very, very interested to see how this plans out. Widzini says, I hope the media is happy. They mess with the bull, they get the horns. Betsy says, making the limelight clearer for the Cambridges may be part of it. I think a result of it will be that, but I don't think that's what they necessarily intended it to be. I think it is a lot about mental health, mental well-being, being bullied, the racism that's been going on. There's a lot of different elements. I don't think we can drill it down to just one thing. But like I said earlier on in this video, I think it will be more daunting as an idea to Harry than what it ever would be to Meghan. Meghan's lived an independently, financially independent lifestyle pre-marriage to Harry, so she's done it. She knows that it's achievable. She's been there. She's done that. She's worn the t-shirt, and I think she will have said to Harry, hey, we can do this. We can do this. We got this. Let's just do it. And they aren't let's put it this way, they are not renouncing any titles. The statement didn't hint at any renouncement of titles or anything of that nature. It just says stepping back from being a senior royal. Now, as I've just said, we don't know the entirety of what that actually means. The only thing that I can probably say is that they are working to be financially independent, which means that eventually, maybe not straight away, but eventually there probably won't be any financial support from the royal family, which means obviously they will be free to do exactly as they wish. Widzini says, what I love about Meghan is that she doesn't want to be a princess with a crown, she wants to be human with a heart. Diana was very much, I think, considered in the same way. DeWalt says they deserve to be happy, and that comes before the public's right to them. Meghan has been a hard worker all of her life. Harry was already unhappy as a royal, living in that bubble. Good for them. Well, I mean, I don't think he wouldn't have known any other way, to be quite honest. And I doubt very much that he would have known people that would have, almost lived that lifestyle that Meghan lived. Which I think, she will have been able to reassure him that it's all going to be okay. We can do this. We got this. Gemma says, I think it's important to not jump to conclusions. Let it play out. Exactly. Teresa says, people wanting Meghan for president need to get real. Oh, I mean, hey, anything's possible. Wendy says, following in Diana's footsteps. Apparently we have 768 people watching right now. Hello to everyone. If you're watching, please give this video a big old thumbs up. Anthony says, would you suppose that the royal family could be behind their decision? No. I will stick my neck on the line and say no. I don't think the royal family, I don't think this is, this does not fit any former pattern of the royal family. I don't think Harry and Meghan have been cast out, if that's what the comment was getting at. I think this is entirely Harry and Meghan's decision together to step back as senior royals. But like I said before, we don't actually know what that exactly will entail, because I don't think we've ever had a kind of stripped back royal role before. I don't think we've seen it where they've sort of split time between two different countries equally, still have a charitable foundation, being financially independent while still retaining titles and still fully supporting the Queen. As far as I'm aware, certainly in recent years, that has not happened. So we are in fairly uncharted waters. Yeah, they may, I'm just reading comments, they may also have to pay for a portion of their security. I mean, like I say, I don't know what stepping back from being a senior royal entails. Will they still qualify for their royal protection? I don't know. But if they don't, then obviously if they want protection, they would have to pay for it themselves. But it depends. It depends how it plays out. Misty Fleetwood says this isn't the blame of William. This is Harry. Yeah, I don't think any other member of the royal family would intentionally have done this to Harry and Meghan. Definitely not. Unique K says the royal family is behind it. Oh, I don't think so. I really don't. But I'm interested to see why you think so. I think after the documentary, they were pressured to take the break, and the decision was made between the Queen, Charles, and Will. No, I don't think so. I think it's squarely from Harry and Meghan. But obviously, I do agree that obviously the Queen, Charles, and William will have been consulted on this. And, you know, they will have been involved in that way in terms of, you know, maybe offering advice, maybe offering support. But the ultimate decision to step back from what you're already into would be squarely with Harry and Meghan. It's their choice. This is what. Well, no, it's. I think it's wrong to say it's what they wanted, because obviously they wouldn't have wanted the situation to get to this point where they would have had to have made this decision. It's not an ideal. It's not an ideal place to be put in. But like I said in my previous video, I don't think the Harry and Meghan have anything against the British people. This is not a decision based on the British people. This is a decision that's partly come into effect because of mental health, mental well-being, because of what the press has been doing, the press treatment. And we know from what they said in the African Journey documentary, you know, they have found it really, really tough with the immense media pressure, scrutiny, bullying, racism, all of which are issues which they have taken up in terms of lawsuits, which haven't come to anything at the moment. We're still waiting, like I said in the previous video, for information on what's going to happen with that. We don't even know if that's going to come to anything in 2020. It could even be 2021 before anything of that nature gets to actually be a court case and gets any kind of resolution. Expat Lifestyle says, nobody wants to live a miserable life. You need to be happy. Indeed, you do. Kelly says, everything is changing, I think, in a good way for everyone. It was probably discussed before, I'm sure. Amphigio says, thanks for your affirmation on my hypothetical question. Now all scenarios to follow for their future mode of living and acting are open. Yes, I mean, now the gloves are well and truly off. Like, gone. Flung. The gloves are off. They are flung. They are on the floor. They are in another dimension. Anything is possible now. Homes. Well, of course, if they're going to split their time between the UK and North America. I mean, I think we can quite squarely say that by North America, probably meaning Canada. Probably meaning Canada. Obviously, Meghan has a good base there. She's had friends there. She's lived there previously. So I'm thinking North America means Canada. But also, you know, they could be flitting between LA. It does give them complete and utter freedom if they are financially independent without renouncing any titles. So no, I don't think any renouncement of titles is on the card, but anything else is completely open. And it also depends as well upon what they actually mean for their Sussex Royal Foundation to be focusing on, the sorts of projects. I don't think there will be any stepping back from any patronages of which they are already patrons of. So I don't think they're going to be, you know, changing anything like that. Marlene says they will still overshadow William and Catherine. Maria says, so no title. Oh, no, they'll still have their titles. And as far as I'm aware, Archie will still be entitled to be Prince when Charles becomes HRH, and Prince when Charles becomes King. Whether or not they choose to take that up, that birthright up, is an entirely... It's an issue, an option for Harry and Meghan. Helene says, I think the media is going to follow them just as much. Good point. I have to say, I agree with you. I don't think the media is going to leave them alone just because they've stepped back as senior royals. I think, I mean, you can just imagine, can't you? The certain media outlets basically employing journalists and photographers to follow them wherever they go, whatever country they're in. So no, I think there will. I think they will find that there will still be the intrusion. I think they're hoping that if they go to another country, that will kind of ease off a little bit. I'm not entirely sure it will. You can certainly see that probably a lot of media institutions will just employ people to be wherever they are, taking photos, whatever. But at least they won't have that level of access because obviously they intend to only invite positive news outlets to their engagements. Liv Lumna says the tabloids will still follow them. Sadly, I think that is true. Maria says Meghan is an extraordinarily smart woman and would make a great overseer for her child's education and his socialisation. Schooling at home can be done on the road. Colleges were begging for my child. Apparently there is a mission statement now on their website. Let me just check because I haven't. Obviously, I've been on air for 26 minutes. Has something else cropped up? I'm just loading up sussexroyal.com. Let's just see. I don't know why it's being really slow for me. Yeah, it's being really slow for me. I've read the post that they've put on their Instagram, but for some reason it's not opening up their... Look, it's stuck. For some reason it's stuck and it's not loading up for me, so... Oh, hang on. No, it's going very... I'll leave it open. Oh, hang on, something's coming. Something is coming. Stop press. Right. Okay, accept. Yes, I'm accepting cookies. Right, where would it be? Would it be media? No. Let me just go back. Okay. Which part of their website am I looking at? Because for some reason it's not loading it up very well for me. It's being very slow. No, it's being very slow. No, it's frozen for me again. So no, I can't see their mission. If that's what it says. Oh, the website's crashed. I think the website may have crashed. Yes. Yeah, no, it's not working for me. Oh, hang on, I'm back up. Would it be under a personal message from the Duke and Duchess? Maybe it's under that. I mean, it says supporting the community, serving monarchy. That's all I've got to. I've clicked on message. Oh, yes, it's here. Yeah, all it's got is, that I can see different, is sussexroyal.com was created as a source of factual information regarding the work streams of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Through this website, you will find key information about their commitment to community, the monarchy, and the Commonwealth, as well as answers to many questions. This information can be found on the following pages. I already have read the statement that was posted on Instagram. I've also read their intentions that were posted on Omid Scobie's page, on his Twitter page. So as far as I'm aware, I don't think there's anything else, unless you can tell me exactly where it is, where I'm looking at, because the website's really slow. But maybe the website is kind of crashing. Gabriella says, with all my sympathy for Meghan, it's going to be very hard for Harry to take him out of his family, his past and surrounding. I'm quite sorry for Harry. Well, he does have his family unit. That is one thing. And just because he's reigning back from being a senior royal, it does not mean that he's giving up his family. You still have your family. You can still have all the connections that you had before. He isn't giving up his family. He's just stepping back. He's taking the steps, or rather, Harry and Meghan are taking the steps to give themselves the privacy which they feel which they prize obviously above anything else. And they're taking the steps to do that by becoming financially independent. I think that's become blatantly obvious to them that to be able to have that level of control, you need to be financially independent and not a full working member of the royal family, which obviously, as I've said, we don't know exactly how that's going to plan out, but we wait with bated breath. Let me just check their website again. No, I don't see anything else. Anything else there? Maybe it's under serving the monarchy. Let's just have a little peek. No, again, the website has crashed. It's saying bad gateway. I cannot get on it, unfortunately. Let's have a look. Nora says, wouldn't it be exciting if Meghan would reactivate the TIG? Just imagine Meghan writing about her royal role. I mean, technically, I suppose it could be reactivated. Becky says, I don't think the press will stop with constantly following them. Look what happened with Diana when she stepped back. Indeed. Thank you for the hair comment. Amy says, the way I look at it is they're not in the direct line of succession. It's their life, so they should do what they feel is right for their family. Mrs. VSN says 10 million plus followers have gone to their website all at once. It's very slow moving. Yes, and I will take the chance once things die back a little bit more to go and check out exactly what's on the website fully. At the moment, it's really, really slow for me. I think you're right. I think a lot of people have just gone straight to the website, and yeah, it's crashed basically. Trevor Daniel says North America is Canada, US, and Mexico. Lady Edie says this is now. Harry will be the son of a king soon enough. Things will change again. Again, we don't know. PJR says, what does this mean for Beatrice and Eugenie? Again, it could mean that more work could come their way. We've seen today that Lady Louise is accompanying her mother, Sophie, the Countess of Wessex, on an engagement with UK hockey. So could there be more things opening up? Maybe. Potentially. Adele says, you're a marvel. Thanks for getting on top of this so fast. I mean, okay, getting on top of it might be a bit of a push. I mean, I am reacting exactly the same as you are to the information that has just come out. At the moment, we don't know, like I've said before, we don't know the entirety of what it all means in practice. We have just got this announcement. We don't know entirely what stepping back from being a senior royal actually means. We've just got a statement, but hopefully we've talked through a lot of different concepts, a lot of different ideas, a lot of different theories, which is all we can do at this stage. And that's okay. It's okay to do that because we are all, myself included, Harry and Meghan included probably too, everybody is still just processing this information, the implications, the different questions that it throws up, the fact that we don't have all the answers. I doubt very much that they have all of the answers at this stage, so we really do have to keep an open mind now. Anything is possible, literally anything. DHD says, we're all in shock, but you're handling it well. Oh, thank you. Oh my god, it was shock. Okay, it was a massive, massive shock. When I got that notification from the news, I was like, oh my goodness. CH says, okay, so what's next? Literally what? I don't know. I still look forward to seeing Harry and Meghan no matter how less as senior royals. I'm so proud of them. I think we are all proud, but again, we don't know. We really don't know. Live Live and Laugh says it's breaking news on CNN. Maria Barr, I agree. I think Meghan and Harry's main concern is for Archie and any future children they may have. Things have been gearing up to be worse for Archie as the first mixed race blood royal than they were for Meghan. Mrs. BSN says the statement underfunding on their site is long and has underfunding. I haven't got that one. It's so slow for me. Literally, their website has crashed. Yeah, that is not working for me. I will be back tomorrow. I will be giving. Oh, hang on, no, something's back. Something's back. Right, where's funding? Right, find me funding, quick. Oh, funding. Right, okay. Right, I've clicked on funding. Let's just see if it loads. And I will read whatever is on there under funding. Thank you for the funding tip off. But it is so slow. So we'll leave that for a minute and we'll come back to it. Rachel says she was glowing yesterday. I believe this is why. Well, obviously they would have known that that they must have planned this announcement and been in correspondence with senior royals whilst they were away in Canada on their break. Alicia says, please put the chat. I can't do it now. I can't put it in slow mode. Sorry. Sandra says you had some other channel talking about what? Meghan's armpit? Oh, do you mean the sweat mark? Oh my goodness. Yes. Okay. Meghan had a sweat mark. Calm down, people. I get them all the time. I have a condition called hyperhidrosis, which is localized to armpits. When you get hot, you sweat. It is a cooling down system. It is a normal bodily function. Just because they're royal doesn't mean they sweat roses. It's perfectly normal. Meghan was hot. She was cooling down. It's okay. Andrea says they didn't make this decision overnight. Yes, exactly. Exactly. WD Zinni says, I have that too. I know, it's awful, isn't it? Funding. Okay, it's loaded. Yay. So, right, I'll read it. Welcome to Sussex Royal, the source for factual information and details relating to the works and structure of their Royal Highnesses, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. We are so pleased to have you as part of this community. In this section, you will find answers and clarification to questions that have come to the forefront in recent years. Many of you may be familiar with these policies, but for those of you who are not, we hope this page sheds some light on what can sometimes be misreported or quite confusing. In 2020, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex have made the choice to transition into a new working model. As they step back as senior members of the royal family and no longer receive funding through the sovereign grant, they will become members of the royal family with financial independence, which is something they look forward to. As the Duke and Duchess of Sussex prepare to make this change, the answers to the following questions aim to provide clarity on existing and future funding arrangements. So, as they step back, the key points are they will no longer receive funding through the sovereign grant, so they will not be sovereign grant funded royals. They will become the first, as far as I'm aware, members of the royal family with financial independence. Now, you could say that obviously some other royals are the same, but there has not been a transition before between them. So why are the Duke and Duchess of Sussex choosing this new working model? The Duke and Duchess of Sussex take great pride in their work and are committed to continuing their charitable endeavours as well as establishing new ones. In addition, they value the ability to earn a professional income, which in the current structure they are prohibited from doing. For this reason, they have made the choice to become members of the royal family with financial independence. Their Royal Highnesses feel this new approach will enable them to continue to carry out their duties for Her Majesty the Queen, whilst having the future financial autonomy to work externally. While the contribution from the sovereign grant covers just 5% of costs for the Duke and Duchess and is specifically used for their official office expense, their Royal Highnesses prefer to release this financial tie. More details on the specifics of the sovereign grant are outlined below. So what is the sovereign grant? The sovereign grant is the annual funding mechanism of the monarchy that covers the work of the royal family in support of Her Majesty the Queen, including expenses to maintain official residences and workspaces. In this exchange, the Queen surrenders the revenue of the Crown estates, and in return, a portion of these public funds are granted to the sovereign, the Queen, for official expenditure. This is outlined in the 2018-19 annual report. Do any of the other members of the royal family hold a title and earn an income? Yes, there is a precedent for this structure and applies to other current members of the royal family who support the monarch and also have full-time job external to their commitment to the monarchy. That will include Beatrice, Eugenie, could even be Zara and Peter Phillips. But like I've said before, there has never been a transition from one to the other. It's always been that way for those members. Do the Duke and Duchess of Sussex earn income? No. Under the current structure and financing arrangements, they are prohibited from earning any income in any form. Do the Duke and Duchess of Sussex benefit financially from their charitable and cause-driven work? No, they do not. So I'm just sitting on the floor. No, they do not currently. By becoming financially independent, will the Duke and Duchess of Sussex be cutting ties with the monarchy? As working members of the royal family, the Duke and Duchess remain dedicated to maximising Her Majesty's legacy, both in the UK and throughout the Commonwealth. They will continue to proudly do so by supporting their patronages and carrying out works for the monarchy within the UK or abroad, as called upon. Have the Duke and Duchess benefited from public funding and tax benefits as members of the royal family? 5% of the funding of their official office was provided through the sovereign grant, starting in 2019. The Duke and Duchess that funding has never been used, nor would it ever be used for private expenditure. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex, who also do not receive any tax privileges. How has the office of the Duke and Duchess been funded up to now? Since the establishment of the office of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, 95% of the funding received for their office expenditure is derived from income allocated by His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales, generated through the Duchy of Cornwall. This provision has been in place since Prince William and Prince Harry first established their offices in support of the Queen, and is the responsibility of the Prince of Wales. This information continues to be available on the Duchy of Cornwall website. Where does the other 5% come from? As described above, the remaining 5% of funding for the office is covering costs associated with employing members of their official office and is received through the sovereign grant. During the course of 2020, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex have made the choice to step back as senior members of the royal family and no longer receive funding through the sovereign grant, thereby making them members of the royal family with financial independence. This phased approach will take time to transition in consultation with other senior members of the royal family, but their Royal Highnesses are hopeful that this change is in the best interest for all and look forward to carrying out their duties to the monarch as well as their charitable work with financial autonomy. Then it goes into a bit about how does a sovereign grant exchange work, which is, I'm not going to read all of that, it's quite lengthy. How much does the British royal family cost each UK taxpayer? Roughly £1 per head per year. The British royal family generates an estimated 1.8 billion a year in tourism revenues for the UK. How is the office the official residence of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Frogmore Cottage, funded? So the refurbishment of Frogmore Cottage, the Grade 2 listed building in Windsor Home Park, was funded by Her Majesty the Queen through the sovereign grant, reflecting the monarchy's responsibility to maintain the upkeep of buildings with historical significance. Expenses related to fixtures and furnishings and fittings at the official residence, which is owned by Her Majesty the Queen, were funded privately by the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, as stated on the official UK government website. Why did the Duke and Duchess move to Windsor as their official residence? The Duke and Duchess chose to move to Windsor for various reasons. Their previous residence of Nottingham Cottage on the grounds of Kensington Palace could not accommodate their growing family. The option of apartment 1 in Kensington Palace was estimated to cost in excess of £4 million for mandated renovations, including the removal of asbestos. This residence would not have been available for them to occupy until the fourth quarter of 2020. As a result, Her Majesty offered the Duke and Duchess the use of Frogmore Cottage, which was already undergoing mandated renovations and would be available to move in before the birth of their son. The refurbishment cost equated to 50% of the original suggested property for their proposed official residence at Kensington Palace. It is for these reasons the Duke and Duchess of Sussex chose Frogmore Cottage as their official residence. Given their transition into members of the royal family with financial independence, will the Duke and Duchess maintain their residence of Frogmore Cottage? Frogmore Cottage will continue to be the property of Her Majesty the Queen. The Duke and Duchess will continue to use Frogmore Cottage with the permission of Her Majesty as their official residence as they continue to support the monarchy, and so that their family will always have a place to call home in the UK. Does the future financial autonomy extend to covering the costs of travel? All travel arrangements undertaken by the Duke and Duchess in their private time have always been and will continue to be paid for privately and not by UK taxpayers. With their transition to becoming members of the royal family with financial independence, this will continue to be the case. Wherever possible, and unless advised otherwise on security grounds, their logistical arrangements are undertaken via commercial air carriers, local trains and fuel-efficient vehicles, be it for official or personal travel. Why do they carry out official overseas visits and who pays for it? Obviously that's in support of Her Majesty the Queen at the request of the Foreign and Commonwealth Office. Does the future financial autonomy extend to covering the costs of security? This is what we spoke about earlier. So the provision of armed security by the Met Police is mandated by the Home Office, a ministerial department of Her Majesty's government responsible for security and law and order. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex are classified as internationally protected people, which mandates this level of security, as stated on the official government website. No breakdown of security costs is available, as disclosure of such information could compromise the integrity of these arrangements and affect the security of the individuals protected. It is long established policy not to comment upon the protective security arrangements and their related costs for members of the royal family or their residences. And that's basically everything on that section. Wow, okay, that is quite a lot to process. Let's go to all of the comments. I can see all the comments zooming down. I'm just trying to kind of catch up. If I put it into live chat format, there we go. Right, okay, there's a lot going on. Let me just lower the camera a little bit. Let's just see what people are saying. Patron the King says, I would remind people this is not a space for open debate. Oh, well, yeah, no, this is literally a breaking news live chat that we are going through right now. Reverend Darlene says they will be financially good doing what they do. Same with the people they help. Indeed. Mrs. Fiji says she was not rich but not wealthy. Yeah, I mean, Meghan was independently well off. She was self-supporting. She was independently self-supporting. Southern Belle says 926 here. Hello to everyone who is joining me to process this huge information about Harry and Meghan. Janice says, wow, 913 people on this chat. Yes, I think this is probably my biggest live chat to date. So thank you to everyone who is joining me live for, like I said, for literally processing this really, really big, huge information. I've just been reading, if you didn't know, from the Duke and Duchess's official website, which has come under a lot of strain because of the millions of people that are trying to access it. So the official site at the moment of making this video is very, very slow. Betsy says you are processing it very well. Thank you. Do they still keep their titles? Yes, at the moment there are no renunciation of any titles. GC says, I want what is best for them. This is the way to happiness, so be it. Duchess of St Andrews says, we are here with you. Thank you. You're all here. It's amazing. We have such an amazing community, so thank you. Samantha says, I'm sad, but it's the best for Harry and Meghan and Archie. Anne says she feels sad about the news. And Jerry says there has been a lot of talk for a long time about changing how the royal family is supported and the family's importance lessening. Maybe it's preparation for whatever the future brings. Southern Bell says, yes, keeping titles, that is their identity. What's the address of their website? Let me just, I will load the link into the chat. But don't forget, if you're watching on Catch Up, I will pop those links into the description as well. So you'll be able to go and read. But like I say, the official Sussex Royal website may be very, very slow. So do give it a chance to load. MSMB 2012 says, thank you so much for being here live and helping us process the news. It is a big processing moment, I think, for all of us. Live, Love and Nass says, I think they decided to do this last year before they left for South Africa, and it's obvious the Queen and the rest of the family already knew about this. Woodsy says, wow, a lot of us Americans are on here. And Helene says, thank you for leading us through this. Ziga says, so just accepting sovereigns grant monies, we might still expect to see Meghan in a crown at a state dinner. No, I think it is very highly unlikely that we will see them at a state. It's not impossible. They still could in terms of supporting the monarchy. But I think it's probably more likely that it will be William and Catherine doing that type of role. It's not impossible, but I think it's more likely to be William and Catherine. Do I think this was decided before the tour or during the Christmas break? I think they had it on their minds to think about it during the break. And I think they've done a lot of processing themselves over their 6 weeks off, and I think they've come to the conclusion that this is what they want. Hello to Elise, it's your birthday today. Hello to all the Capricorns. Wow, right, okay, I am going to go now. I am going to leave you all to process. I am going to leave you all to take a look, if you can, at the official Sussex Royal website. We still have a lot of unanswered questions. We are still processing, and we will continue to process over the coming months. And I am sure that the royal family will kind of drip feed us bits and pieces about the transition. So, please make sure you are subscribed to the channel, because I may pop on at any moment and do a pop-up live chat. I'm also myself at this point possibly considering the options of creating a new channel, maybe just for Harry and Meghan news. I don't know. But seeing as they are now lessening in terms of becoming a senior royals, and there will be so much news of their own coming up, I'm sure, with their Sussex Royal Foundation, I am considering possibly a new Harry and Meghan channel. I don't know. So do let me know your thoughts and comments about that. Right, I'm going to leave you all to process. So if you've enjoyed this video... Oh, I have a Rory who's come to say goodbye. Hello, Rory. So if you've enjoyed this video, please give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to share on social media, and also hit the bell so that you know whenever I upload a new video. Also, do make sure you are subscribed to the channel. So from me and Rory in Shropshire, mwah, to you all, and happy processing.